Hello guys, this is Hexagon Zero and welcome back to another episode of Multiplayer Mondays. And yes, I know this isn't being uploaded on a Monday, but on the upside it's being recorded on a Monday. This gameplay footage I recorded this morning at about 1:22 in the morning, and I'm just doing the narration for it now at 11:58. So technically it's still on Monday. Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, I am on Siege of Shanghai Obliteration, and I have picked up a random... Is this my kit? That's my kit, yeah, that's the MG4 with a suppressor and hollow sight. Why? Because I've got no other sight for it. But anyway, I'm essentially tailing the guy with the bomb here, and yes, that helicopter did just roadkill him. So, damn it. Anyway, Battlefield 4 has come out, as it were. It's been out for a while now, is what I'm trying to say, but the, what's the name of the thing? I've been hyping it for Naval Strike, yes. Naval Strike came out, now in situations like that, I always die, and for some reason I live. So, and this guy was just ghosting there for a second, but anyway. Naval Strike has come out, and I don't know what the hell I was doing here. I guess I was trying to run for cover, but I ended up running into the corner, and whatever. Naval Strike has just come out, so, I'm not gonna bother to re-record the Multiplayer Monday episode to give you more, Naval Strike footage, but you guys will just have to wait a week, and in about less than a minute, will be Tuesday, and that means you guys get a Commander Mode episode of Naval Strike. So, which I'm actually about to record right after narrating this. So, there you go. Naval Strike footage is en route. Now, there probably won't be very many weapons, because most of the weapons for Naval Strike were released early to PC and premium players. So, yeah. And, surprisingly, I haven't had much time to do any editing on this video, and normally my videos take, especially my multiplayer Mondays take maybe about 30 minutes, and I have to edit them down to maybe 25, 27, just do accelerations. There are no accelerations in this video at all. Yes, this is a screen of essentially maybe 45 seconds of me observing a battle. Just trying to figure out when the best time to spawn in is. And if you saw a moment ago there, the commander's doing something and I do, as he just did it right here, just place a random evac point just out there so you can get points for it, and you can also maybe earn some medals, and well, that just means more points. So yeah, and I have a bit of a stuffy nose, but it's not a disgustingly clogged nose, it's just stuffy, or stuffy. That doesn't work. Anyway, so my original plan for this video was that last night I was a little bit pissed, mostly because of this round. Because even though it looks good right now, it turns out going for shit. Like my pilot here, he actually rights the helicopter. It's perfectly stable, and then he does this.
Where the heck are you going, soldier?
Yep.
Stick with us.
And I'm actually on a server that is a stomp server. And if you guys don't know what that is, I only just recently discovered the term, but the stomp server means that one side is always going to be favored. And it's even in the server's description as to if it's stomping grounds, I believe is the name of the server. And right now I am trying to type coherently as I'm smashing one hand into my desk. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the state of Battlefield 4 as it is right now. And I've recently reconsidered having a full day to kind of calm down a little bit after this abhorrent round. I have decided to reconsider my position. I am just going to talk about the state of Battlefield 4, but not from an angry perspective. From a slightly calmer perspective. And I'm only going to talk about general things that you might already know. The fact that Battlefield 4, for PC at least, isn't ready. It wasn't ready to be shipped on time, and that's why it's taking fricking forever to work right now. And, yes, I did not understand my logic there, but, you know, it works. I don't know why. Yeah, someone probably just ran in there, hit the button, then ran to the other elevator, and then did that. Yeah. Anyway, Battlefield 4 wasn't ready to ship, but EA forced DICE to ship it. And I don't really know why. I'm kind of a Ubisoft fanboy at this point, because most of the games I play are made by Ubisoft, and they always seem to, well, at least to me, they always seem to do things that I consider a good idea. And in this case, the good idea is that they, like for example with Watch Dogs, they waited to release that. They gave the developers and creators and all that stuff time to work out details, and it's probably going to be much better for it. Sure, there are going to be some bugs, but it's not going to be as much as it could have been. But they did say that the game was ready to ship. They just hadn't fixed it. They hadn't polished it to what they wanted it to be. And if you're wondering why I have the, what the hell do I have? I have an ump. Do I have an ump? Am I holding the ump? I don't know. I recently unlocked the ump 45. I don't use the PDWs that much. In Battlefield 3, they were pretty badass, but in Battlefield 4, it's just kind of like most of the engagements are long range, and you know, everything else is short range. And this is something weird too. The commander crates don't disappear, even after they're gone. They don't heal you. They don't replenish your bullets. They just kind of sit there. And yes, this is the ump with the suppressor on it, and a coyote sight, and a vertical grip, I believe. Yeah. It wasn't ready to ship, but EA forced DICE to ship it anyway, and they probably cried over it. Because now they're going to have to deal with all the customer complaints and all that stuff. And this is the technique that I find rather useful. Just get around them. They don't expect it coming from the back. When everybody's shooting, everybody looks the other way. So if you can get behind them, then a perfect flank, then it works rather well. So it wasn't ready to ship, and there's a whole bunch of issues with it, as you probably have experienced. And I've heard reports that the PS4 or PS3 version is practically bug-free, just from Climactic, if you guys remember him. He just recently got recently got Battlefield 4, and he says that he hasn't experienced any bugs or any problems so far. But then again, he got it about 3 days ago, so yeah. There could be some future issues with that, I don't really know. But the reason why it isn't working so well for PC is because, well, issues. I don't know how. Kill cam, yeah, I don't know. So, how are they fixing it currently? Well, if some people are saying, why can't you patch this? Why can't you patch this? And allow me to explain from a programmer's and at one point, tech support person. If you released an update every single day to try and fix all the bugs that were happening, it's kind of impossible, but if it was possible, then you would get updates that would cause more issues than they, well, fixed. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's an image of Grumpy Cat, and it's you know the song 99 Bottles on the Wall or something like that. It essentially goes like this, and yes, I'm about to sing, so mute if you want to. 99 little bugs in the code, 99 little bugs, take one down, patch it around, 127 little bugs in the code, and that's essentially the point. Patches and updates take a freaking long time. And essentially you have to make sure that they work, because moving one little thing, maybe rebalancing this weapon, will unbalance every single other weapon when engaged in that situation. And that's just weapon balancing, not to mention tank balancing, map balancing, game mode balancing, time balancing. I don't know, most of that is server decided, but hey, you get the gist of it. So it takes time, and then you're probably wondering, oh, don't ever do this on Siege of Shanghai. If you're in armor and they control the building, do not go close to the building. It's a stupid idea. Always take the inside route, and basically don't ever cross that bridge unless you know you've got infantry support, or at least NGs around you to heal. So why it's impossible is because, okay, allow me to explain this. I'm going to use very quasi style of explaining the length of code and how long each line is. Nowadays, let's take Pong, for example, one of the most basic games in existence. Let's take Pong. Maybe nowadays you could do it in 50 plus lines, maybe. Back in the day when Pong was first kind of created, it probably would have taken, it was all hardware, so there was no software involved, like the original Tetris. But that's beside the point. Ah, sorry, I had something stuck in my throat. And then let's take a slightly more advanced game. Recent, Quake, the original. Maybe 40,000 lines. Just throwing a number out there, just estimating on what the game is and what is in it. Maybe 40,000 lines. And you're thinking, oh, 40,000 lines? I've seen programming code before, and you probably have. I'm not going to deny that, but you've probably seen Google's Inspect Element or Mozzarella Firefox. Mozzarella Firefox's view code or something like that, or Internet Explorer's view code. Anyone uses Internet Explorer anymore, aside from my grandma. You've seen code, and you're like, oh, that's website code. Instant, sure, some of it's complicated, but a lot of it is just tags. And for those of you who don't know what tags are, they're essentially the things with the greater than or less than signs next to short words that look like acronyms. And if you don't know what a greater than or less than symbol is, well, you should probably go to school. But no, that isn't what video game code looks like. Video game code, video game code looks a hell of a lot more complicated. Like, so much more complications, bro. It's not even funny how much more complicated it is. Because allow me to put this into a little bit of perspective. Let's take Battlefield 4. Now let's say how many. I'm going to estimate as to the lines of code that it took to create this game. All the textures, all the mappings, all the pathings, all the balancings. And let's not forget there's single players, there's the enemy AI, there's the enemy map design, there's progression, there's spawning, there's a whole bunch of shit. There's lighting. Lighting probably took at least the amount of code that Quake has in the first place. So I'm going to estimate and say maybe millions of lines of code in Battlefield 4. Now, granted, when you do bug fixing, you have an idea of where to look. Like, for example, if the error with the lighting, well, then you just go to the section of the file that covers lighting, and you kind of poke around in there a bit. But still, that's probably in itself 60,000 lines of code. And I'm just estimating. And yes, that was a long-range artillery kill, and yes, I am a brat. But you still have to go trolling through the code to figure out what the hell is causing the problem. And that takes a bit of dedication and a lot of time. And you have to love what you're doing, or at least get paid enough to love what you're doing. So, yeah, that's why it takes so long and a whole bunch of time to update these. And then again, if you, like I said, if you update it every single day or every single second day, then you'd be causing more errors than you could work with. And if EA had given them time, and here I am doing it again, which is stupid. Surprisingly, I don't think I get shot. No, I don't. For some reason, I don't get shot. This is funny here, actually. Just watch this. I get out, my gunner gets out, he hits the button, I get back in the tank, and then he must have hit it twice because the barrier's raised. And then so he hops out again, goes over, hits the button, and makes sure it stays open. Anyway. So, yeah, that's why Battlefield 4 is a little bit iffy right now. And here, I don't know what the hell hit me, but it took me down by 50% health. That must have been like a piece of C4 or something. I don't know, but it blew up and it immobilized me. I didn't like it, so I'm like, no, I'm backing up my fat butt and getting to the bottom of this tower where you can't get me from above, and I can at least see, or my gunner can see, stuff around us and not have to look straight up. But this is kind of funny here. Just watch this. I'm in a tank, rolling around here. We're having a nice time. Checking in there. No one ever expects a tank in this area. And this is actually a test for me. I didn't know that tanks could destroy barbed wire. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, a guy just runs around the corner. Right about... I'm going to turn around, Hex. There you go. There he goes. He runs around the corner, and he's going... Huh, there's a tank. What the fuck is a tank doing here? Oh, I'm going to shoot an M2 something or other at it. And then these guys spawn in like, YOLO! I get killed by myself. I killed myself. With an M1 Abrams. Oops. And it was so worth it. Anyway. Yeah, so if you're gonna get frustrated at anybody, get frustrated at EA. Because they're the ones that are kind of doing shit. All. Anyway, Battlefield 4 rant over. It isn't DICE's fault. Well, okay, I can't assign the blame completely to one party. It's a little bit DICE's fault, but small compared to EA's total involvement. And this is actually the extreme chopper tactics right here. Typically, if you're going to be attacked by a chopper, you're at least near something with an elevator or something like that. And this is extreme attack chopper tactics right here. Just kind of spot the attack chopper every now and then just stay on the opposite side from it, or stay away from the things that are going boom. Or actually be smart and leave, which is what a lot of people don't do, because we're totally enamored with the ability to dodge a heavy flying vehicle that's intent on killing us one by one by one by one. There he is. Yeah, using elevators as cover is a good tactic, because nothing can blow them up, and explosions have a hard time getting around walls and corners due to explosion modifier pathing in Battlefield 4. And that sounds like gibberish, and mostly it is. Anyway, we're watching this door because this guy, and he gets a headshot, or at least, no, actually the CSLR-4 kills in one shot, less than 6 meters body shot, so yeah, he killed me pretty quickly. Anyway, so I respawn on up here, and I've got the stinger, and I'm like, you know what, screw you! Don't even get a hit off. Why? Because the stinger has a hard time keeping a lock on anything, and he probably popped smoke. Still, pain in my ass. And this guy gets me with an M4. 11 health left. If I had put like one more bullet into him, he would have been dead. But alas, that was not the case. And as you can probably tell by the ticket count and by the amount of time we have left and the obliteration points, we're gonna lose. And we do. But, you know, I win sometimes in my Multiplayer Mondays episode, but it's important about keeping a balance. You know, keeping a nice, structured system to the madness. And I don't know what the hell smoke they're popping, but that is so effective. It just trails on for 3 seconds of popping smoke. And especially on maps like Siege of Shanghai and Dawnbreaker, if you pop smoke and you're winding through buildings and everything, they're not going to get a lock on until you're out of sight. So it is basically OP on maps like this, and it's OP on maps that have, when you're trying to lock on with weapons that have a larger range. What I'm doing here is I'm waiting for him to pop smoke, and I think he's going out of the cover, but actually going around the building, but actually he's crashing and dying. But I launched a missile anyway. Why? Because, fuck it. He gets cut down by my guy lying prone out there. Why? Because he thought he was dead. Very good tactic, actually. If you're arming an MCOM, just kind of sit there and play dead. No, he's actually dead now, so don't bother doing that. Yeah, but he starts to come around, so I'm like, oh shit. And I get in the elevator, kill Brogy from the back, and then I get killed by the cannon. And then at this point I'm really frustrated. You know, when the all caps comes out and I'm not a commander, I am frustrated. I've actually covered the topic I wanted to save myself. I've covered the topic I wanted to talk about today. That's good, because the round just ended. Here we go. We lost. Oh well. I raged while doing it. Then I took a break, and then 14 hours later, Naval Strike came out. So, yeah. And it had to come out this week when I have a whole bunch of deadlines. It's literally just deadline, 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 deadline. And last week I didn't have any, so, you know. That's the world for you. Anyway, so moral of the story is don't hate on DICE. If you're gonna hate on somebody, hate on EA, but don't hate through the customer service line, because those guys are frickin' amazing. But yeah, I would like to thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, favorite, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. This is the Hexagon Zero, signing out.